Alex stepped cautiously through the dense forest of Zalara 9. The alien planet stretched endlessly before him, with towering trees whose leaves shimmered with a faint golden glow. Strange plants swayed gently even without wind, and the air was thick with the scent of unknown blossoms. His boots crunched softly on the mossy ground, and every sound felt amplified in the stillness. Alex's mission was clear: study the local alien species, collect data, and return safely. But as he moved deeper into the forest, he could feel that Zalara 9 had its own plans. He paused near a clearing, adjusting his helmet lights. The glow revealed a small fox-like figure frozen among the tall ferns. Its fur sparkled with a strange bioluminescent pattern, like tiny stars scattered across a soft brown coat. But what caught Alex's attention most were the eyes, big, round, and amber, filled with a cautious intelligence that felt almost human. Alex froze, not wanting to scare it away. The creature tilted its head, sniffing the air, and then it retreated a step, showing signs of both fear and curiosity. He knew better than to rush. On his previous missions, he had learned that alien creatures could sense intent, emotion, even hesitation. Any wrong move could endanger both him and the creature. Slowly, Alex crouched, extending a hand. "It's okay," he whispered, though he doubted whether it would understand words. The creature's ears twitched, and its tail flicked nervously. Alex's heart pounded in his chest. This was no ordinary encounter. There was something different about this being. A sudden rustle behind him made him glance over his shoulder. Nothing. But when he looked back, the creature had moved closer, almost cautiously, almost deliberately. It circled him, observing, sniffing the air around him. Alex stayed still, letting the moment stretch, letting the creature decide whether he was friend or threat. Then it happened. The creature inched forward and nuzzled his hand. Its touch was soft, almost hesitant. Alex's instincts took over. He gently scratched behind her ear. The effect was immediate. The creature's eyes closed in what seemed like pure contentment. She leaned into the gesture, pressing her head softly against his palm. Alex froze. Something in the creature's behavior shifted. Her fur glowed brighter, and a subtle vibration hummed from her body, something he could feel even through his gloves. The moment was beautiful but strange, and a shiver ran down his spine. He didn't realize it yet, but that single scratch had triggered a bond, ancient and instinctual, one he could not understand fully. The creature stepped back slightly, then looked directly into his eyes. Her gaze was intense, and her small voice, barely above a whisper, sounded in his mind, or was it just his imagination? "Mate." Alex staggered back, unsure whether he had imagined the sound or if it had actually spoken. The forest felt suddenly alive around him, the shadows deepening, the air thick with anticipation. Was this a gesture of friendship, or something far more profound? He glanced around. The bioluminescent flora pulsed gently, as if in response to the creature's presence. He knew that many alien species on Zalara 9 had rituals tied to bonding, mating, and loyalty. But this was different. This being was small, fragile-looking, yet there was an intelligence there that defied understanding. Alex's mind raced. Should he attempt communication? Should he step back and give her space? Before he could decide, the creature darted closer, circling him in sudden bursts of energy, then stopping, ears raised. Each movement was deliberate, almost ceremonial, and Alex realized that he had stumbled into something ancient, something instinctual. He noticed the glowing mark on her shoulder, a pattern that pulsed faintly in rhythm with her heartbeat. It looked like a symbol, almost like a map, but he didn't know what it meant. He crouched slightly to examine it, careful not to make sudden moves. The creature tilted her head again, letting him look closer, but her eyes never left his. Time seemed to stretch. Minutes passed like hours as Alex and the creature studied each other in silence. The forest around them was alive with subtle sounds, chirps, rustling leaves, distant calls. But all of it faded into the background. For a brief, fragile moment, there was only Alex and her. Then, without warning, she twitched and ran a few steps back, crouching low. Alex stiffened, his hand raised, ready for anything. But it wasn't fear. It was a signal, a warning perhaps, or maybe an invitation. He didn't know. The amber eyes stared up at him, unblinking, full of anticipation. Alex took a deep breath. He knew he had to be careful, respectful. One wrong move could end this fragile connection, or worse, provoke a reaction he could not predict. Slowly, he extended his hand again, palm open, allowing her to decide. She approached cautiously and nuzzled his hand once more. Soft and warm, the creature's tail twitched, and a faint vibration ran through the ground beneath them. Alex knelt fully now, studying her. The forest seemed to lean closer, listening, waiting. He scratched behind her ears again, softly, carefully. She leaned in further, almost pressing her small body against him. Then came the unexpected. She touched her forehead to his chest, a gesture that seemed intimate, almost ceremonial. Alex's breath caught in his throat. This was no ordinary reaction. Something deep inside him recognized the significance, even if he could not yet name it. A sudden movement in the bushes startled him, and he turned quickly, scanning for danger. Shadows moved, low and fast, but before he could react, the creature let out a soft warning hiss. Alex froze. Whatever it was, the small being was ready to protect itself for him. Minutes passed, tense and silent, before the threat moved on. Alex exhaled, shaking slightly. The creature sat back on her haunches, eyes alert, tail flicking. She looked at him again, head tilted, and Alex felt a strange warmth in his chest. The word mate echoed in his mind once more. He sat down slowly, keeping his hands open and visible. She mirrored him, sitting opposite, eyes locked. The forest seemed to hum around them, leaves glowing softly, insects moving in choreographed patterns, as if the world itself was aware of this new connection. Alex tried speaking again. I'm not going to hurt you, he said, his voice calm. The creature blinked, then tilted her head. A soft musical tone emerged from her, almost like a laugh. Alex smiled faintly. This was communication, he realized. Not through words, but through trust, through presence, through subtle gestures. Night began to fall. The forest glowed in strange bioluminescent hues, casting long shadows and illuminating every detail. Alex knew he had to set up camp soon, but he didn't want to move, afraid of breaking the fragile bond. The creature stayed close, her small body brushing against his arm, occasionally dot as he settled. He noticed something peculiar. Small glowing tracks appeared near them, like footprints made of light. The creature glanced at them, then back at Alex, ears twitching. He followed her gaze and realized the tracks led deeper into the forest. Curiosity mixed with caution. Alex wanted to follow, but he also didn't want to rush her. The forest around them was alive with unseen creatures, some curious, some dangerous. He knew one wrong step could be fatal. The creature, sensing his hesitation, nuzzled his hand again, soft and comforting. Alex smiled, feeling a bond forming, something ancient and inexplicable. Whatever the word mate meant, he understood its weight now. It was not just affection. It was trust. It was loyalty. And perhaps in some way, it was destiny. Hours passed. The forest night deepened, stars shining faintly above. Alex kept his eyes on the creature, marveling at her intelligence, her curiosity, her subtle power. She seemed small, fragile, and yet unafraid of the unknown. She had chosen him in her own way, and he knew that this encounter would change him forever. Finally, the creature curled near him, resting, eyes half closed, tail wrapped around her body. Alex leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. The forest seemed quieter now, almost respectful. He realized that this was only the beginning. The scratch behind her ear had set something in motion, something ancient and profound, something neither of them fully understood yet, and as he drifted into a light sleep, the glowing mark on her shoulder pulsed softly, casting a gentle light across his face. The word mate lingered in his mind. Questions swirled. Why him? What did it mean? What would happen next? One thing was certain. Zalara 9 had welcomed him into its mysteries, and this small, fox-like creature had become the key to a story far greater than anything he had ever imagined. The morning light filtered through the glowing leaves of Zalara 9, casting soft patterns on the mossy forest floor. Alex stirred, slowly opening his eyes. The small fox-like creature was already awake, sitting near him with ears perked and amber eyes fixed on him. Her glowing fur shimmered faintly in rhythm with her breathing, as if the forest itself was aware of her presence. Alex moved carefully, not wanting to disturb her. He remembered the events of the previous night, the scratch behind her ear, the strange whisper of the word mate, the glowing mark on her shoulder. He still didn't fully understand what had happened, but he could feel a bond forming, subtle yet undeniable. He stretched, brushing moss off his suit, and the creature made a soft chirping sound. It was a greeting, Alex guessed, though it sounded more like a melody than words. He smiled faintly and offered his hand again. She approached cautiously, nuzzling it, and Alex felt warmth rush through him. Whatever this bond was, it was mutual. For hours, Alex and the creature moved together through the alien forest. She led him to a small stream, where the water glowed faintly from bioluminescent algae. She drank first, eyes alert, and then Alex knelt beside her, taking a careful sip. The trust between them grew with each small gesture. He noticed how she seemed to anticipate his movements, always a step ahead, always protective. As they walked, Alex studied her more closely. The glowing pattern on her shoulder wasn't random. It formed intricate shapes, almost like a language he couldn't read. He wondered if it was a symbol of her species, a mark of identity, or something far more mysterious. She noticed his gaze and tilted her head, as if daring him to understand. Hours passed, and they came to a clearing where the forest opened into a vast meadow bathed in golden light. Strange flowers swayed gently, and the air was filled with a soft humming sound, almost musical. The creature darted forward, playing among the flowers, yet always glancing back at Alex to ensure he followed. Alex felt a strange mix of awe and unease. Zalara 9 was beautiful, yes, but it was alive in ways he had never experienced. Every sound, every movement, felt intentional, as if the planet itself was watching. And the creature, small, fox-like, yet intelligent beyond comprehension, was guiding him through its world. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from the edges of the meadow. Alex froze, scanning the tree line. The creature stiffened beside him, tail bristling. From the shadows, figures emerged, tall, alien predators, their limbs long and sharp, their eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. Alex's pulse quickened. The creature stepped forward, placing herself between Alex and the predators. She let out a low, warning growl that resonated through the clearing. The predators paused, seemingly hesitant, and Alex realized that she was far more capable than she appeared. Her small size belied her strength and intelligence. Alex reached for his survival kit, preparing to defend them, but the creature moved with unexpected speed. She darted around the predators, leading them in confusing circles, her movements precise and deliberate. Alex followed her lead, unsure whether he was assisting her or simply being carried along by her instinct. Minutes passed, tense and chaotic. The predators were relentless, but the creature never faltered. She leaped, dodged, and even used the glowing flora as cover, weaving through the meadow with a grace that left Alex breathless. Finally, with a sudden burst of speed, she led the predators toward a dense thicket, disappearing into the shadows. Alex sank to the ground, heart pounding. The adrenaline surged, but so did amazement. This small creature, who had seemed fragile and playful just hours ago, had saved his life. She returned shortly, tail flicking, eyes calm now, as if nothing had happened. Alex could only stare in awe. You're incredible," he whispered, though she didn't need words. She simply tilted her head, amber eyes meeting his, and Alex felt that bond tighten. Whatever had started with a simple scratch behind her ear had grown into something profound. Something neither of them fully understood, yet as the sun dipped lower in the sky, Alex realized they needed shelter. The forest grew darker, shadows stretching, and the alien night could be dangerous. The creature led him to a small cave, its entrance hidden by glowing vines. Inside, it was dry and surprisingly warm, with soft moss covering the floor. She curled near the entrance, ears twitching, watching him as he set up a small, temporary camp. Hours passed in quiet observation. Alex couldn't stop thinking about the word she had spoken, mate. What did it mean in her culture? Was it a simple declaration or something far deeper? He had never encountered a species that could form bonds in such a direct, instinctual way. And yet, despite his confusion, he felt a strange comfort. Night deepened, and the forest outside became alive with distant sound, soft calls, rustling movements, glowing eyes peeking from the darkness. Alex kept his hand extended, palm up. She nuzzled it once more, then curled near him. The glow from her fur cast a gentle light across his face. For a moment, everything felt right, but the forest was not silent for long. A soft, pulsating glow appeared at the cave's entrance. Alex's heart leapt. The creature stiffened, ears raised, tail flicking nervously. Slowly, a figure emerged from the light, a member of her species, taller and more imposing, with intricate glowing patterns covering its body. Alex froze. The elder looked at him, eyes scanning, reading, judging. The creature beside Alex crouched slightly, protective, yet deferential. Alex realized that he had walked into more than just a friendship or bond. He had stumbled into an ancient ritual, a connection that had rules and meaning he could not yet comprehend. The elder spoke, a melodic sound that resonated directly in Alex's mind. "You have touched her, human. You have claimed her bond." Alex's stomach dropped. I didn't mean to," he began, but the elder cut him off. "Intent matters less than action. The bond has begun." Alex felt a mixture of awe and fear. The bond, the scratch behind her ear, the small gestures, the trust they had built, it was now formal in some way. He was part of her world, whether he was ready or not. The creature looked at him, eyes calm yet intense. Her glowing patterns pulsed softly. She nudged him gently, as if asking him to accept what had happened. Alex swallowed hard. This was no longer just exploration. This was survival, trust, and connection, something that would define his time on Zlara-9. The elder turned and disappeared into the shadows, leaving Alex and the creature alone once more. Alex exhaled, trying to steady his racing heart. He looked at her, and she simply blinked, eyes warm and trusting. Whatever had begun with a simple scratch behind the ear was now something far more significant. As he settled for the night, he couldn't shake the questions swirling in his mind. Why him? Why now? What would this bond demand from him? And what dangers lay ahead, beyond the glowing forest and the mysterious predators? Yet, despite the fear and uncertainty, Alex felt a strange peace. The small creature, fox-like and intelligent, had chosen him, and in some way, he had chosen her. Whatever Zlara-9 had in store, they would face it together. And as the night deepened, the glowing patterns on her fur seemed to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat, a silent promise of loyalty, trust, and the adventures yet to come. Dawn broke over Zlara-9, scattering golden light across the glowing forest. Alex stirred from a restless sleep, still haunted by the events of the previous night. The small fox-like creature, his companion, sat alert near the entrance of their cave, her amber eyes bright with awareness. The glow of her fur pulsed softly, as if acknowledging the rising sun, and Alex felt the same rhythm in his chest. A bond unspoken but undeniable. He stood, stretching, and the creature followed, stepping lightly beside him. She nuzzled his hand gently, reminding him that whatever awaited them today, they would face it together. Alex took a deep breath, trying to steel himself. The elder of her species had warned him, the bond has begun. And now he was beginning to understand the weight of those words. Their journey through the forest was quiet at first. The air was crisp, filled with the hum of alien life. Yet beneath the calm, Alex felt tension and knowledge that today, the mysteries of her species and the true meaning of the bond would be revealed. He watched her carefully, noting the subtle gestures, the way she tilted her head, the way her glowing patterns shifted with her emotions. She was small, but every movement spoke of intelligence, history, and something primal he could not yet name. Suddenly, she darted ahead, leading him to a hidden clearing surrounded by towering crystalline formations. The crystals glimmered faintly, reflecting the glow of her fur and creating a kaleidoscope of colors. Alex paused, taking in the sight. This place felt sacred, ancient, untouched by outsiders. He realized that she had led him here deliberately, with purpose. The creature stepped forward and crouched, ears twitching. Then she made a sound soft, melodic, and resonant that seemed to echo directly in Alex's mind. "Follow." Alex obeyed, feeling both awe and caution. They moved deeper into the crystal field until they reached a circular platform at its center. Here, the air shimmered with energy, and Alex could feel a subtle vibration beneath his feet. The creature stepped onto the platform and turned to face him, her amber eyes glowing more brightly than ever. It was then that the elder appeared, stepping silently from the shadows. Taller and more imposing than Alex remembered, the elder's patterns glowed with a rhythm that matched the creature's fur. Alex instinctively stepped back, unsure of what would happen next. The elder spoke, his voice a melodic vibration that resonated in Alex's mind. "You have entered the ritual of bonding. Few outsiders are chosen, human. You have touched her, and the bond has begun. Now its meaning will be revealed." Alex swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the moment. He glanced at the creature beside him. She seemed calm, almost proud. The glow on her shoulder intensified, tracing intricate patterns that pulsed in a hypnotic rhythm. Alex realized that these patterns were not merely decorative, they were a language, a record of her species' history and the significance of the bond. The scratch behind her ear, the elder continued, was the initiation. In her species, this gesture signifies acceptance, trust, and the recognition of a mate. Your actions, though unintentional, have bound your fates. Alex's mind raced. He hadn't meant to claim anything. He had only acted instinctively, trying to comfort her. And yet, the ritual was real. The bond was real. And now he understood that she, in turn, had accepted him. The creature stepped closer, her body brushing against his leg. The patterns on her fur pulsed in sync with his heartbeat. Alex reached down, touching her gently, feeling the warmth, the life, the connection. He could sense her trust, her loyalty, and an intelligence that defied human understanding. Suddenly, the platform vibrated, and a low hum filled the clearing. The crystals around them glowed brighter, casting long, intricate shadows. The elder's voice echoed again. The bond must be tested. Trust and courage will determine its strength. From the edges of the clearing, shapes began to emerge, alien predators, larger and more menacing than before, circling the ritual site. Alex's pulse quickened, but he didn't hesitate. The creature growled softly, stepping in front of him, tail bristling. Together, they prepared to face the challenge. The predators lunged, swift and aggressive. Alex moved instinctively, dodging, blocking, and trying to protect himself and the creature. But she was more than capable, leaping, weaving, and striking with precision that left Alex awestruck. Every move she made was a statement of trust, intelligence, and power. Hours seemed to pass in a blur of motion, strategy, and instinct. Alex realized something incredible. The bond was not just symbolic. It enhanced their coordination, their awareness of each other, their understanding of the forest and its dangers. Every glance, every gesture, every subtle movement strengthened their connection. Finally, with a combined effort, they drove the predators back into the shadows. Alex collapsed onto the ground, breathing heavily, while the creature curled beside him, tail brushing against his arm. The elder stepped forward, glowing patterns dimming slightly. "The test is complete," he said. "You have proven trust, courage, and unity. The bond is strong. From this day, you are recognized as her mate." Alex felt a mix of relief, awe, and something deeper he couldn't name. He glanced at the creature, who looked back at him with those wide, intelligent eyes. For the first time, he understood the word she had whispered, mate. It was not just companionship. It was trust, partnership, protection, and a bond that transcended species. The elder stepped back, fading into the shadows, leaving them alone. Alex reached down, gently scratching behind her ear once more. She leaned into the touch, glowing softly, a silent affirmation of their bond. Days passed, and Alex and the creature explored Zalara 9 together. Every step was a discovery, new plants, new creatures, and new mysteries of the alien world. Yet, through it all, their connection deepened. They communicated without words, anticipating each other's needs, watching each other's movements, understanding in ways beyond language. One evening, as the alien sun set, casting crimson light across the glowing forest, Alex realized something profound. He had come to Zalara 9 seeking knowledge, adventure, and perhaps even fame. But he had found something far greater: trust, loyalty, and a bond that would change the course of his life forever. He knelt beside the small fox-like creature, her glowing fur radiant in the fading light. She pressed her head against his chest, eyes closing in quiet contentment. Alex whispered softly, "We're in this together, always." The creature let out a soft melodic hum, vibrating in harmony with his heartbeat. In that moment, Alex knew the truth. Zalara 9 was no longer just a mission. It was home. And together, they would face whatever challenges the universe had in store. As night fell, the forest glowed in soft, otherworldly light. The bond between human and alien was sealed not by words, not by ceremony alone, but by trust, courage, and a shared understanding that transcended species. Alex felt a sense of peace, knowing that the adventure had only just begun, and somewhere deep within the forest, unseen eyes watched. But this time, Alex was not afraid. He had her by his side, the small, intelligent, fox-like creature who had chosen him, trusted him, and claimed him as her mate. And with that bond, he knew that together, they could face anything.